Dumpty 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 Dum. Theme music. Dumpty 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 Dum. Theme music. More theme music. Dumpty 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 Dum. Well, welcome to one of my sandboxes. And I'm just going to go through some doors that I've created to show the kind of things that you can do just using prims. None of these have been made with mesh, although some of them can be improved using mesh. So the first one is obviously this ginormous iris door here, and we can activate it by touching the door or this little button down here, and it opens like that and closes like that. Now, these are very simple to make. The hardest part is finding a good sound and a good texture. But if we just look at this, and this is just a simple steel texture, and that's been rotated a bit to get this effect. The actual prim itself, if we look at that, you can see is a torus. And if you look at the hole size and watch the Y component of the hole size as I touch the door, and you'll see that change. And there it is. And keep your eye on it again. There. It's as simple as that. Iris doors are fun. Now, iris doors are great for things like airlocks and what have you. Now, the sort of door that isn't fun for airlocks is your typical standard door. Right? that's so basic that it barely needs any attention. Now, if we look at this one, now this is exactly the same thing with a different texture and a different sound, and you can immediately see that it adds a little bit of atmosphere. Now, this is a rolling door frame, so it goes up, it comes down. Now, the way you make these are quite simple. If I just create a box and stretch it a little bit. Now, I'll keep it with some depth so you can see what's going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the texture to blank across the board. And then I'm going to select the face. And I'm going to make the top red. And I'm going to make the front green. Okay, so this will make things a little bit clearer as we do this. So if I just come up here and go back to the object and we cut. And as I cut, you will see and the greens disappeared. So let's go back. So now this is a different face. If we change that to purple, and go back to cutting. We can make it green, or we can make it purple. It's a different face. So we continue cutting, and we now have exposed another face. Okay. Now, if we continue cutting, we get to a point where you can see that from a certain perspective, it is growing and shrinking. So if we go behind a door, we can see that this is actually wedge shaped. And if we just touch it, we're just applying that cut. Now, these are scissor doors, so very simple. You get the idea. Now, time for a bit of fun now. This is the Star Trek door. And of course it disappears into this wall. So the problem with this kind of door is you have to make room for this wall for the door to disappear into. And all of these doors, by the way, will automatically close after 10 seconds if they're open. So that's the Star Trek door. Let's have the Star Wars blast door. And the sound, of course, is really important. There's no difference between this door and the Star Trek door, except for the orientation. And a different sound. It's a good sound though. With a good clang and a hiss of steam. Now, this little beauty is a cylinder door. So the way this is made is this side and this side are actually two separate cylinders which have been hollowed out and cut. And that allows them to present two different holes. And inside is another cylinder which has been hollowed out with a cut, but only one cut, and therefore there's only one door. So come in and you have this lovely picture over here, and now we can step through. So this is great for anywhere where you want people to walk through, but you want to keep, for example, atmospheres separate. And up on this wall is some code that I wrote for NASA. So there you go. And that's it. It's very simple stuff. The texturing on this one, by the way, is very, very simple. If I select the face, go to the texture, you can see it's just black on a blank texture, and the bumpiness is set to stucco, shininess to high, and then we just adjust the scale of the stucco until it looks kind of cool. And that's it. So, the script for these is very simple. They just listen out for messages from the hand or if they're touched. And it's quite rudimentary, really. So, he says, turning into the sun, because that's when I look my best. Right. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to examine the scripts, just let me know. Toodaloo. Start playing end theme. End theme, more end theme.